I just woke up from this dream, and it was, in the beginning of it, it started that this teenage girl was dead, and everyone is very sad at the loss. She was beautiful. This boy with two older brothers is talking about how his older brother was in the same class as her in high school. She was easily the most beautiful girl in her entire class. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, and gigantic breasts, and a tiny waist, and this, beautiful bottom, whatever. She's just supposed to be the prettiest girl you ever did see. And, how his oldest brother had a crush on her at one point. And then his second oldest brother was always, trying to get into classes she was in, trying to do better in subjects so he could go to the grade above. Try to get ahead in math, try to get in something else, whatever. And then he was so much younger than her that he used to go to the place where she worked, make excuses all the time to walk past her house, and there was something kind of, weird about the way he went about this. And then I was quite surprised that he starts talking about how one day she noticed, one day she told him she noticed how much attention he spent on her, how much time he thought about her, was around her. And how she thought he was really cool and, sensitive, and they had both lost their virginities to one another. She was 19. He's 16, 15. There's a little ambiguity on the exact ages, but he, as he's telling the story of the two of them getting together for the first time, the way he's telling it, it sounds like he's about to tell you that he just couldn't please her, that he came too soon, like a normal teenage boy. But in fact, that little part of the story ends with him imitating her very first orgasm at the same time he orgasmed, and she screams, and he says, and after that, sometimes when she orgasmed, she made this sound, and sometimes when she orgasmed, she made this sound. Sometimes she moaned for a really long time when she came, and sometimes she started to kind of like high-pitched hyperventilate, and then he's going through all these descriptions of how she came. And then he's sitting there and he says, I think when you believe someone is really great, you show as much of them, show as much of yourself to them as you possibly can, but you don't show them any of the bad stuff because you think that they're too good to be touched by the darkness, and that's why every time we were together, we had sex. Every time she came and she was showing me the light side. But the implication here, though he doesn't say it, is that she had committed suicide because of the dark side. Because she thought he was too good to expose to the sadness and the evil and the darkness of life. And he says he thinks it's quite fitting that she loved him that much, given all their sexual experiences. And the way he says it is a little weird, a little cold. Just matter of fact, he thinks it's quite fitting that his girlfriend is dead. And that's how she died. And he's in a suit. He's in a black suit. Everyone else has found out about her dying, and his parents, his family, everyone is upset. And he's calm. He thinks it's appropriate. And so then there's sirens. They live out in the county in a small community. And the police show up. And I don't know if I'm a sister or what, but I'm there. And he had been talking to me. And the police are coming, and I said, what do you think the police are doing coming out here? And his dad says, they're probably going to arrest me, because he didn't say anything, but I guess there's some implication that a middle-aged man, for some reason, would harm his son's girlfriend. And I said, I don't think so. I think they're here for Michael. And Michael is laying down, and he turns into a goat in my dream. And I was rubbing the fur under his chin. And the police come out, and we give them the suicide note or something like that she had left at her boyfriend's house. And the head policeman is a woman that's in a panic. She is just kind of uncontrollable. She's going out to the pens where the animals are kept. She's talking about how all these different farm things could be used as weapons. She wants to take certain things in as evidence, and I said, you can't take the stuff right there, or the pen will open, all the animals will be let loose. She committed suicide. Here's the note. And the woman says, yes, I'm flustered. I'm not thinking clearly. And I said, and she's talking to his parents, and I interrupt and I say, what time would you like us to come in tomorrow? Okay? We'll come down there, the whole family, and we'll talk to you. And the woman says, 2. You have to come in by 2. And then she says, no, I mean 10. You have to come in at 10. And the boy's mother says, okay, then we'll be there at 10. And they said, tonight everyone just needs to be able to deal with this information. Hauling someone down to the police station isn't going to help anything, and the police need time to look at all the evidence and talk to everyone. And tonight, what's most important is that her friends and her family and everyone gets a chance to come to terms with what has happened. And there's some sort of wake scheduled, and there's going to be some drinking and the next day the whole family's in the station wagon, and we're all there. We're driving to the police station, and his older brother's like, wow, as the police drive away, they drive over this cardboard box in the middle of the road. Everything's dark. It's the county. There's no street lights. But they drive over this white cardboard box that had contained the prescription pills she used to kill herself. And the boys, his older brothers, are talking. And they're like, oh, I just can't believe this happened. I mean, it doesn't even feel like she's dead. One of them says, I thought I saw her like twice last night. I thought I saw her at the wake, at the party. I thought she was there. And the middle brother says, I thought I saw her too. More than once, I thought I saw her. And the oldest brother says, do you remember how she used to talk about this one Indian reincarnation story? She used to talk about the man whose greatest pleasure came back to life, and he was forced to face it. And at this point, there is a real confusion, an eerie confusion about what's happening. And then as I started to wake up, I heard she killed herself because she found out that he only wanted her for sex. That's it. He had no interest in her as a person, had no interest in her thoughts or her feelings, and she loved him. And then it was like heavily implied in my nearly woke state that she had indeed found some way to kill herself, to come back from the dead, to get revenge on him for reducing her to nothing but her body.